Pips has been flying up the best-selling ranking lately. So today we're gonna go on how funding works at FundingPips. So we're gonna go over the challenge types, the trading conditions reviews, and their trading rules. And stay until the end of this video because we're gonna give away a free challenge to one of you. So let's dive in right now. So now to make sure that we cover everything, let's go on Prop Firm Match to see what FundingPips are offering. So first of all, you can see that we can trade on 3 different platforms. So first of all, we have CTrader, then Match Trader, and MT5. They are as well as CFD prop firm. So that means that you can trade multiple assets as Forex, metals, indices, energy, and crypto. Their account sizes started at $5,000, then they have as well at $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, and $100,000. So now if we take a look at the payout policies, let's take a look because they have different policies depending on different factors. So first of all, right here you have FundingPips 0, that is one of their program. They have a bi-weekly for 95% profit split. For the FundingPips 1 step, they have a payout policy of a 80% weekly every single Tuesday. And for the FundingPips 2 step, they have a 60% for weekly, 80% for bi-weekly, and 100% if you request it monthly. So what does a typical challenge looks like on FundingPips? So FundingPips have different program types, like for example the FundingPips 0, that is their instant account. They have as well the FundingPips 1 step and 2 step, and they have as well the FundingPips 2 step Pro. So now let's take a look at their 100k 2-step challenges so we can compare them between the 2-step normal and the 2-step Pro. We're gonna be comparing the pricing, the profit targets, the daily loss, the maximum loss. For both accounts, they have a static maximum loss and daily drawdown type. The 2-step Pro is actually cheaper than the 2-step normal. As you can see, that is almost $100 cheaper. However, they have as well different profit targets. For example, for the 2-step normal, you have a 10% profit target for your phase 1 and a 5% profit target for your phase 2. However, for the FundingPips 2-step Pro, you have only a 6% profit target for both phases. But what changes else is the daily loss and the maximum loss. So for the FundingPips 2-step normal, you have a daily loss of 5% and a maximum loss of 10%. Compared to the FundingPips Pro, that is only at 3% daily loss and an overall 6% maximum loss. So the FundingPips Pro is best for people who are looking for a cheaper alternative but with tighter risk parameters. However, as you have a smaller profit target, it's kind of compensated for each other, but still be careful because if you lose 6% of your account will be gone. Okay, so now let's go and take a look over the key rules for FundingPips. So first of all, they have multiple rules, so we're gonna go step by step over each one of them, starting by their 3% rule. So they have a rule that no single loss should exceed 3% of your account size. So you cannot risk more basically than 3% in a single trade. And then splitting up a trade into multiple positions will be counted as one single trade as well. So it's as well important that you cannot just split multiple trades and at the end of the day you still have a huge risk at the same time. So that means, for example, if you open on the same pair multiple trades, that will still count as one single pair risk and not multiple trades at the same time. For copy trading, you can copy your trades from your own FundingPips account, so between your own FundingPips accounts registered to the same individual. But for external copy trading, your FundingPips account may only act as a master account to any external slave accounts. Now for the news trading, this is where it's super important because you need to listen up. They have a news trading for their 1-step, 2-step, and 2-step Pro. For the evaluation phase, news trading is allowed, but for the funding phase, you need to be aware that your profits from trades opened less than 5 hours, not minutes, hours, before and closed 5 minutes before or after a high impact news will not be counted. So this means that you need to manage your trades accordingly, and it's 5 hours before a high impact news. You need to manage your trades either before 5 minutes the news event or after the news event. So basically you cannot close the trade just a few minutes before the news event. You need to be aware of that. For the FundingPips 0, news trading is not allowed at all. And for the weekend trades, you can hold trades on the 1-step, 2-step, and 2-step pro. But for the FundingPips Zero, holding trades over the weekend is as well not allowed. They have as well a capital allocation limit, so basically for their standard account sizes that are 25k, 50k, and 100k, you can merge or scale up to a combined maximum of $300,000 across multiple accounts. For the AIs or the expert advisors, they have as well a rule that is they are allowed as long as they function as a trade or risk manager. So basically a trade assistant to calculate your risk, but any other third-party AIs are not allowed. The inactivity rule is 30 days, so you need to open a position every single 30 days. They have as well a minimum profitable days, so you need a minimum of 7 profitable days out of 30. So basically at the end of each 30 days, you need to have a minimum of 7 profitable days. They have as well some forbidden strategies like, for example, gap trading, server spamming, latency arbitrage, hedging, long, short arbitrage, reverse arbitrage, server execution, and as well opposite account trading. Everything is prohibited. So now let's go on the review section on Prop Firm Match to see what other traders are thinking about FundingPips. And again, just to remind you guys, all reviews on Prop Firm Match are manually verified, so there's no botted reviews. It's all 100% completely real. So if we go in the review section right here, there is FundingPips. So they have a 4.2 stars out of 5 for their trading conditions. They have as well a 4.3 for their customer care, and they have a 4.6 for their user friendliness and a 4.4 for their payout process. So overall they are in the orange, so that means it's relatively okay, and they have a nice green right here for the user friendliness. So now let's read the 2 most recent reviews that someone posted on Prop Firm Match. So first of all, we have right here this trader who gave 5 stars to FundingPips, and he said that I had a great experience with FundingPips. The rules are clear, the spreads are low, and the payout was really fast after my first withdrawal, so he highly recommends it. And right here we have another trader who gave a review 4 days ago. So he said the best prop firm, I really like it, but the payout process is after 14 days for 80% profit share. If they change it to 7 days, they can beat any prop firm in the entire market. So I just bought a 2-step account, so let's see how it's going. So as you can see, overall traders are having a positive experience with FundingPips. We can as well take a look on their payout data exactly right here, that is on Prop Firm Match again. So overall they gave around $6 million in payouts, with a number of payouts close to $5,000. Their largest single payout was close to $30,000, and their average payout size is close to $1,000, and their average payout time is around 1 day. So that's it guys, now you have everything that you need to know about how funding works at FundingPips. So now it's time for the giveaway, so listen up if you would like to get a chance to win an evaluation account. So comment down below if you learned anything new about how funding works at FundingPips, and which other prop firm would you like us to cover in a future episode. And the winner will be announced in the next video. If you would like to get more information, don't hesitate to go on Prop Firm Match, because there is multiple listed and verified prop firms where you can compare them and choose the best one for your needs. So if you enjoyed this video, like always, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe to Prop Firm Match, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.